Well, season's winding down. It's starting to get close to the final days here of turkey season of 2011. It'll soon be in the record books, and I'll tell you, this has been a tough year here in the southeast. But I do realize that a lot of guys up in the northern region, y'all's season is just starting to open, and just this past week, and you still got about another month till around the 1st of June up in Vermont, Massachusetts, I think Pennsylvania, some of the northern states, and Maine. I know some of you've emailed me, and some of you've said that you're just getting ready to go right when we're getting ready to finish here in the south. But we got about 5 more days of season left, and I'll tell you, it's been a hard season. Since I got the last gobbler on the 18th of April there, it's just went downhill ever since. It's if it ain't windy, it's raining. If it ain't rainy, it's windy. If it ain't windy and rainy both, then it's sun shining pretty like it is today, and then they don't gobble. But actually, we're out here this evening, and right here in this holler behind me, there's some birds that's been roosting up on the ridge. And so we're going to kind of listen this evening to see where they're roosting at, and hopefully get in there in the morning and try to get right under them, and hopefully they'll fly down and do what they're supposed to do. But I think Saturday, well, I did miss one. I have missed one. I think it's the 30th of April. I don't know what happened. I called this turkey in just as he come in great, you know. It's been since the 18th since I even got one to work right, and this one came in, and I don't know if I pulled right when I shot, or if he moved his head right when I shot, but I don't know, I just missed. And but that happens, don't it? So, but outside of that one, and then let's see, Saturday, this past Saturday, they gobble like that was the best gobbling morning that we've seen since season's open, to be honest with you. I mean, I had 5 different gobblers just gobbling everywhere, and I set up on 2 of them, and on 2 different turkeys, and had one just almost into me, and I don't know what happened. I think a hen got between me and him and carried him off. I don't know, but I've just been snake bit. I'll be honest with you. It's been one of those couple of weeks where it's just everything that goes wrong possibly goes wrong. Guys, we got 5 more days of season left, and I do know a lot of you are just starting your season. So as ours is winding down, I want to just give a couple more videos, tips that I think maybe could help you guys in the north in the month to come. It's helped me. In fact, Saturday, I thought about doing this video Saturday because Saturday when I was working at one turkey, I thought, man, you know, a lot of guys would mess up. And even though I didn't get that turkey, I'll tell you a good tip that I think it'll help a lot of you young hunters and help a lot of you maybe fill that turkey tag this year. Gobbling very good, let's say at daylight, and up about 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning they start gobbling, as often they do. And they will, you know, as they lose their hens, especially it gets up in the later season, they'll start losing their hens, and they'll start gobbling on their own, as we call it. And in fact, the one I called in Saturday that I didn't get him, but I mean the one I set up on and really got him close, that's what I did. He was just gobbling on his own. A lot of guys will give in to the temptation when they find a gobbler that's gobbling on his own like that. They'll automatically just run over to him, and they'll get 70, they get maybe 100 yards from him, and they'll get their mouth call or the box call or whatever out, you know, and you know he'll gobble back at them. But here's the mistake, and it can really hurt you when you're in a situation like that. If you ever find a turkey that starts gobbling by himself, that's usually a turkey that has lost a hen. You know, he's lost his hen, so he's gobbling, he's looking for another lover. You know, he's looking. A lot of guys give in temptation to call to that turkey when they're about 100 yards away, and really you're really setting yourself up for, first of all, to start a bad habit, and 2, you're really setting yourself up for trouble, because usually a turkey that's gobbling by himself like that is an older turkey that's lost his, you know, he's lost his hen for the morning, and he's looking for another hen, And so if he hears what he thinks is a hen 100 yards away from him, and all of a sudden, the hen's you, and you're up here calling 100 yards, and then he starts gobbling, and you start moving closer, and you keep calling. You just keep calling, and you keep calling, and then you get you get say 80 yards, and he's gobbling. He's gobbling. You just can't see him. He's under the hill or something, but all of a sudden he just gobbles again. And he's just ripping every time you call. But what's happening is he's hearing you get closer. He hears what he thinks is that hen getting closer. And so what's he going to do? Well, first he's going to be putting that head up, and he's going to be looking for you. All right. And as you're moving, he's going to if you're in open woods, which late season like this is pretty green, but say early season, then he's probably going to spot you before you see him. Or worst case scenario, in nature, the hen always goes to the gobbler. So what do you think he's hearing? This hen is getting closer to him. So a lot of times he'll hang up and just walk back and forth, and he'll just keep walking back and forth until he'll stay right there, and he'll be tough to kill, because you've really done yourself an injustice, because you've come from 100 yards down to say 60 yards, and you've come that close, and you're coming toward him. So he has no reason to, well, she's coming to me. I ain't going. He's sitting there thinking, well, this is nature. I'm gobbling down here. I'm telling her where I'm at. She's coming to me. So that can really be a bad habit to start. So here's what you do in that situation. The right thing to do, now let's go back to Saturday for a minute. This gobbler, he started gobbling on his own. He was gobbling on his own, man. He was just he gobbled and gobbled and gobbled. Now, he's probably a good 200 yards from me, okay? He's a pretty good piece from me. So instead of getting 100 yards from him, start yakking to him. And I know you like to hear him gobble, but he's gobbling anyway. He's gobbling on his own. Just, here's the smart thing to do. Don't say anything. Just creep, and when I say creep, I'm talking about take your time, because he ain't going nowhere. He's gobbling by himself. He's by himself. He's going to be right there. Just take your time, and that's what I did Saturday. I just took my time. I really watched, so I didn't step on those sticks. I was just watching my feet. I was watching where I was going. I got in this little brush line, and I got right to him. So once I got 60 yards from him, 70 yards from him, and I knew he didn't see me, and he still gobbled. Then you set up, then you call, because you've already cut the distance halfway. So instead of getting up there and yakking to him 100 yards, wait till you are close enough, then start calling to him. Now, the smart thing to do is sometimes if he's not gobbling, say a lot, but he's gobbling, then just take something just like a crow call, Well, you hear a crow, so I don't need one. Thank you, Mr. Crow. But take you a crow call and do what we call checking. Just check him. If he ain't gobbling and you don't quite know where he's at, instead of using a hen call, use a crow call. Blast on it, and then just check him, see where he's gobbling. And a lot of times he'll gobble, and you'll be able to tell that he's still there. Tip that I think a lot of people make a mistake, because I know what you're thinking. Oh, I want him to know I'm here, and I'm going to keep calling and set up, but if you're moving toward him, then you're doing yourself an injustice, because he thinks you're coming to him, and so he's going to hang up, and chances are he's going to keep strutting there, and you're going to be able to watch him 65, 70 yards down there strutting, and you ain't going to be able to do nothing, because you can't move, you can't go to him, because if he can see you, you can see him, he can see you, and so you're probably going to be out of gun range. So a lot of times the best thing to do is set up, get as close as you can to him without bumping him off. Don't say a word to him. Watch your steps, and then so instead of trying to move in on him, just wait till you're set up, and then start calling to him, because a lot of times he'll cut the distance, and he'll come just a little piece to find you, and then he might hang up, but he'll be close enough to kill. So that's just a quick little tip I want to give all y'all, and I think it might help you feel that old turkey tag this year. So remember, don't call until you're set up, until you're there, until you're situated, and then you start working him, okay?